You're going to learn how to literally smash local business targeting across all metrics within cold email using the right tech stack, the right strategies, and getting the right data at the most cost-effective price that justifies the results that you get. So obviously you can do things in cheaper ways, but you're going to get lesser results most of the time. Nothing is definitive. So these are the results right here, guys. So this is the process. This is literally predictably. So we started a whole new campaign and boom, we're just rinsing and repeating now. It's the same process, the same strategy. It's literally only a 2-sentence email. And what we did is we use serpr.dev in the playground right here. You go boom, you go places. We use serpr.dev to scrape the entire nation for a keyword. So in Clay, so Clay is the driver. That is why right here, Clay is in the middle because Clay makes it happen, okay? As you can see here, look, we're getting into Yahoos. We're getting into iClouds, okay? We're getting into Gmails. You cannot keep us out. And they can't keep you out either if you use the right tech, the right strategies, and you cross your T's and you dot your I's. And you're fearless, okay? And you are fearless, okay? Nothing holds you back or stops you from getting a massive result. So the mathematics on this right here, guys, these 3 campaigns is 1 out of every 35 companies responded, raised their hands, wanted our lead magnet, and wanted more. So trick what this is, I'm going to give you right into here. I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to go boom, go right here into import leads. It's going to load for a second. Go into sequences. So look, this is all it is, guys. So this right here, boom. We're going to go, whoops, sorry. Okay, I'm just not going to save this. So preview. So what we did is we scraped the entire nation. I'm going to show you how to do it. But I'm going to walk you through what the results look like and why you need to listen to this process. Okay, so this isn't fluff. This isn't anything. So we scraped their reviews. So first we scraped the nation. We qualified, we filtered, and then we went and retrieved their reviews. So when you use serpr.dev to, for example, scrape reviews, you can go right down here where it says relevant. So if you want to use like bad reviews, then you go lowest rating. If you want to use, you just want really good reviews, then use highest. If you want the newest, which is what we generally do, we use newest. If you want most relevant, I don't even know what that means. Okay, what is the definition of relevant? So it's a good question. So I would suggest either using newest or using lowest. So kind of 2 contrasting strategies. So you can use the negatives to capture their attention, to bring up a point about perception from new customers, especially if they're like a 4.4 rating and they've got competitors that are at 5. You bring up these low, reviews, and you can use that to kind of interweave, get a little bit of an emotional reaction out of them, and to proposition your offer, the value you provide to get that conversation going. So right here, as you can see here, we have a whole list of the entire nation, okay? So there's over 29,000 cities in this, and all you do is you fill all this out. So I would go to here, I go to places, location, because you want to have this as an option. Just put something in here so it'll propagate into here. So I'll put United States. See how it has location right there? And so all this is going to be created for you, okay? Pages, page 1, yeah, so you're going to do this, but just to have it, just put that in here, okay? If you put 1, it's not going to show up there, but because you're going to use this call, so you can call multiple pages of results, just put a 2 here, and you're going to change it to a 1, okay? So you put in the query. This is where you're going to put in, whatever the keyword is. This is going to be the location data that you use, and then this is going to be the page so you can paginate it, okay? So you're going to go into here. You're going to have Clay. You're going to load up this city. I'm going to provide access to this document as well. It's all the cities, okay? I did a little bit of filtering because I had some demographic data, and there's like nobody living there, so it's like, why are we even going to search for anything if there's like no population there? So I trimmed it down a little bit just to make it easier and less, information to have in a table, just to make it simpler. Okay, and so for example, this right here, the keyword auto window tint service. So generally speaking, you're only going to have like 1 keyword. The way we did it, we had to do multiple keywords. And so all you're going to do is you're going to make an API call. Okay, and so in this master API call, as you can see right here, we coupled it up. So you can actually make multiple calls in one API call. So instead of having all these different columns, running all this stuff separately, like getting claustrophobic with all this data, you can just put it all in one, okay? So auto detailing, mobile car detailing, paint protection film, and see how we use the location, like I showed you. We put city, we put state, and then we put United States, okay? And that's the simplicity of what we did, okay? And then as you're going to see right here, so this is going to be the results of that API call. So because I searched for multiple keywords, I have all of these. So these are what you would call collections. And then this is an array. Okay, so if you're familiar with make and some of these automations, that's just a way to classify how this data is being gathered for you and presented to you. So as you can see right here, boom, it's got that, it's got their address, got their website, got their category, latitude, longitude, amount of ratings. So it's got all this rating count, position. So it's got all this information, okay? And so because I did it for many keywords, I have all these. So like if I go here, search parameters, see how it's got vehicle wrapping, location. So see how that's working? So it's just rinse and repeat. Each keyword's all the same concept. So per search, you get 10 per search. So when you make the second call, remember I showed you for the pagination, this is important. It's just a small little detail. So if I go down, I don't want to show you my API key. See this? Page 2. So I would not suggest going past page 3. Personally, I only go through to page 2 because that's just worked out the best. And because I hit it from so many different keywords that generally these businesses are going to have associated with their company. So companies that do paint protection film are going to probably have ceramic hard coating. They're probably going to do vehicle wrapping. There's a high probability chance that they're going to do window tinting. Okay, so I only went to 2 because I needed to go to 3 because I have so many overlaps, but I need to approach finding these businesses as holistically as I possibly can. And so you will just do this, boom, you're most likely just going to have one of these in here. And then what's going to happen is you just write. So in Clay, you can write to a new table. So see how there's 10 rows created. So I'll go over here to the first one. And it'll be 10 rows created, successful, true. So all you do in Clay, and this is what's really cool, is you can have multiple tables communicate with one another. And so that's kind of, it's just like, you have different zaps, different make automations, different databases communicating with each other. If you use Google Sheets, it's just like having Google Sheets. So think of Clay as Google Sheets on steroids. So if you're not familiar with it, but you're familiar with Google Sheets, just imagine Google Sheets, every column, every row, having more, more capabilities, more API accesses, just a little bit more comprehensive, automations associated to the columns and the rows and the cells. And so boom, so I select right here. So see this? That's going to be that list, that array that came out of the collection. So just referencing back to how we classify those different, populated, propagated data sets. And then boom. So then I take the different information. So phone number, website, category, boom, 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 boom. And I push them into that table and I tell it what I want to push and what I don't want to push. And then if I want to keep something in here, then I would push that as well. So if you wanted to push the city, the state, the zip code, whatever it is, if you want to push the keyword, it's really up to you. I pushed category. So that was just my way of doing it. And then what's going to happen is, so this is what you're going to get. So this is all the information that I wrote over to it. And then what I did to get the emails, because like, oh no, okay, I got the website, I got the business, but how do I get the emails? Well, you just run a Claygen or you run a web scraper. And then you go to that website and you have it find the emails. And then you have it populated. You can have it find one, you can have it find all of them. You can go look for a founder's name. There's a lot of different ways to do this, but I got results without using a first name, without using any of that stuff, shattered records. 1 out of every 35 companies throughout the whole entire nation that we reached out to raised their hands, were jocking my client. They wanted to learn more. They wanted the value. They wanted to have a conversation. So boom, contact email. And then lead magic. So going back to this, lead magic is just a really good solution. It's clutch. When it comes to email validations, you get like over 200,000 validations for $99. But you can also use it to programmatically guess different decision makers' emails. So if you have first name, last name, and then domain, you can programmatically predict and guess, and in a lot of cases find people's personal business email. So as you can see here so far, we've used Serpr, we've used Leads Magic, we're in Clay. I showed you the Smart Lead. This is literally like, listen guys, Yahoo's, iCloud. If you're familiar with cold email, people are going to tell you that's not possible, but it is, okay? So don't listen to the gurus, okay? I'm the new guru. Listen to me. So just so you know, if you have the right system, guys, if you have the right deliverability, if you have the right sender's reputation, you can get in just about everything except for Microsoft inboxes. So, so just to be mindful of that. The Microsoft 365 business, that's the one caveat to deliverability right now. It's really difficult to get in there. So that's been my only headache. Yahoo's, iClouds, Gmails, Google Workspaces, Mimecast, Proofpoint, SMTP, easy peasy breezy. Those Microsoft 365 business ones are a whole nother story. And so, as you can see here, boom, valid email, finds it's valid. This is just a habit because you want to start to understand your data as much as you can. You want to understand your deliverability. You want to know what is associated to what in case there's some hidden signal. Just like we know now that Microsoft 365 business accounts are a little bit harder to get into or a lot harder to get into than ever before. And so, boom, pushing it over, normalizing the company name. I tried a few different things, but this is where you get the reviews. So, boom. Because they went and they passed our specifications, okay? So in this case, like this one, we moved it up to 50, but right now it's, hey, they have at least 10 reviews, okay? So they have 10 reviews, then we're gonna run the reviews and see how this, boom. I took our van to Eugene, does a great, amazing job, blah, blah, blah. And we got all this information, we've got media, we've got images, we got all this stuff. So now you can use all of that information and you can give context to your AIs, okay? And so, boom. So this right here is an output. Notice Barry Madsen's Google review from last month about the amazing job on his van. Reminds me of how we recently helped a Florida detailing company 5x in 8 months by attracting top value clientele. And now going back to this, would it be a terrible idea to send company name the same 4-step process they implemented along with the case study? It was that simple, guys. It's really that simple. And so this right here is what drove this bad boy. Obviously, it didn't get everything. So this one right here. So if I go to preview right here, notice your exceptional reviews, including Jesse, So what we did is we had the AI write another line and then pull in different reviewer names. So the whole point is to make them feel like, number one, they don't know when they see that subject preview line, they don't know if it's a customer or client. So this is the concept and the principle of hacking positive biases, okay? If your email starts with, I hope this finds you well, immediately negative bias, okay? They're immediately going to negatively associate and they're not even going to open up your stupid email, okay? But when they see, notice your exceptional detailing reviews, especially Jesse, okay? When they see something like this and it's, notice how blah, blah, blah from 7 months ago about the sandwich in her car, like all they're going to see in the preview line is going to be this. So like, oh, is this a client? Is this a customer? Is this a what? Like, we don't know what this is, so we're going to open it. So now half the battle is done, okay? Because in this process, you didn't lose trust as well. So the way that this leads into this doesn't lose trust. So you didn't clickbait them. And so see how up here, see how I use car detailing service, company name? So basically this right here is like keyword or their company category. So that's the strategy with this. So they don't know. So this matched with this. They don't know if that's someone reaching out to them for something about new business. So they're going to open it, guys. So that's the most important thing to remember about all this. Well, obviously deliverability matters and that's the hardest part, but you have to hack that positive bias. Okay. So there's negative and positives. Never forget this. Okay. Remember, cold email is all psychological. Sure, it's offer. Your offer is psychological. Like, what does it makes them emotionally react to want to have that conversation? What is it that you are speaking to that is, moving them away from a pain or solving a problem or just an offer so good they feel stupid saying no? Okay, so that's basically how all that works, guys. And obviously down here, what we did, and this proved to work pretty well, is we just did a first person because my client has actually run. They have their own shop before they've started their marketing agency. And so, boom. So we use this right here. And this is just speaking from the point of view of an owner. So it's like founder to founder type of a deal. and that worked really well. Okay, so far you've seen Smart Lead, Clay, Lead Magic, serpr.dev. In here, guys, all we do in this prompt is boom, look for customer review that has photo number or with 2 or greater and is a 5-star from the data provided. So that was pushed all this serpr review data. Okay, must be a review with photos primarily as your option. Find the best review with the most granular details of what was done, as in specifics of their car. Finish the 2 prefix and quotations and add in the second segment. Love reviewer's name, Google review, how long the thing was, and I gave it an idea of what's to follow and what to write. If there are no me attachments, use this. Hey, so I gave it 2 different options, so it would speak to it differently as if they had a photo versus they didn't have photos, so we could like make them feel like we actually looked at the photos and we were like, wow, this is really good. We just did this email manually. We did not automate this, because the problem with most people that are watching this video is you do not send personalized, granular emails that make your prospect feel seen and heard. And this is your #1 barrier. You sound like everybody else. And like, I wish I could just slap a lot of people doing cold email and be like, hey, if you made them feel seen and heard, you kind of in a way enact the principle of reciprocity. They're at least going to reply and say not interested instead of just ignoring you or hitting spam. Because they're going to be like, oh, this person like actually wrote me. This isn't some, this message couldn't be for anybody but me. And that's what you want them to feel. They want to feel like this message was not sent to anybody else. So using just your typical company name and all that stuff, it works in a lot of cases if you have a bomb offer. But generally speaking, that is losing its appeal and it's losing its effectiveness very quick over time. The standard of cold outreach is rising at rapid rates right now, okay? And so outputs, giving it, outputs should be longer than 20, do not include quotations. And I gave 2 different ways of approaching based on the data that is available using photos, okay? And so that is all that drove this, guys. And even better, just to show you what we really did in here, our whole system now, this whole system, everything on here was automated and done with AI. Our copy is written with AI, okay? This is our final output. All of our copy is written with AI. So now we use Claude 3.7. We write email 1, email 2, email 3. Okay, it costs almost 3.5 cents to write all 3 emails at a high converting capacity. So this isn't necessarily the cheapest way, but it's the most thorough way of doing it. And so we use Claude 3.7. See how love how you maintain that 5-star rating across the board. Your customers clearly appreciate the dealership fresh results. Remember I was showing you before? So we have automated this entire sequence from replies to writing the copy to booking the meetings, okay? See how this follows the same framework as the last one? So we proved concept on a still automated, but then we continue to combine and, condense everything into the least amount of actions as possible for the smoothest and most efficient automated AI-driven process that we could find. And so this right here, boom, added to campaign. All of these right here, super granular, super personal, all AI. See, love JK's, Google reviews from just a day ago, that small sharp dent on his driver's side that you fixed same day in under an hour, even buffed out a scratch by the dent too. Made me think of a Florida company. So see how we do all this? Would it be a terrible idea to send without a trace dent repair the same 4-step process they implemented along with the case study? P.S. Your customers consistently mention how professional Paul is and how he takes the time to explain everything. That kind of service builds serious loyalty. So see how this couldn't have been for anybody else. This is how we're getting such a high rate of positive responses. Okay, and so I'm going to show you into here. I'm going to go into boom, reply, look up master sheet. So this right here, guys, we have AI reply to everything. Okay, AI is what's booking the meetings. AI is what's doing absolutely everything. So we have AI block the not interested. Just so you know, with cold email, just fun fact, you can recycle information. These people aren't going to remember you in 60 to 90 days. Okay, they get so many cold emails, and unless they're not going to remember you've emailed them before. So I block, and then if we were to go through this list again for the people that didn't convert, then I would just basically wipe the block list and run it all over again. Okay, trying the most evolved, the current high relevant solution that we have that is converting the best. Because where you start and where you end is not going to be the same. It takes like 30 to 90 days to optimize your cold email strategy. Okay, so to expect to get the best results on day one is just not realistic. You can get pretty close, but there's always room for optimizations. Okay, so it's just super important to understand. And it's like even in here, because sometimes people will say, hey, call me. So we forward the email so then my client can call them. But we have AI respond to everything. So look, we have the AI create the custom follow-ups as well right here. So as you can see right here, the AI is replying right here. Let's check this bad boy out. Email bodies 5. So this first one using AI is a response to their to their email, okay, to their reply. Embracing those dirty vehicles dealership can be a solid strategy. Just curious. Is that working well for your business model right now? The reason I asked about our case study is that we've seen some detailers struggle with the feast or famine cycle those clients can create. Our Florida client actually started exactly where you are, but found that balancing their client mix helped them stabilize revenue and increase the average ticket value significantly. Here's that case study if you're interested. And then boom. And so no pressure at all. Just thought you might find something useful. If you take 30 seconds, and then right into here, boom. So now it's pushing over the link. Oh yeah, here's our calendar link. Okay. Jeff, quick question. Have you noticed how you're blah, 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 blah? So it's speaking to different pain points in every single follow-up. And it's using their information. So boom, that one from Alex about his dump truck really stands out. So it's continuing to pepper them with personalized follow-ups that aren't just like, hey, just following up. Hey, just circling around. Like that doesn't work anymore, okay? You got to level up. This is your chance to level up, do it right, be personalized, get far better results, okay? And then boom, update. So you can add in the follow-ups as different variables. And then boom, and then obviously reply. What we did with this person also, and this is why I have high level in here, is all the positives get pushed into high level. So they have in the CRM for classification, for opportunities pipeline. But then also we have an automated SMS sequence. So everyone who's positive, we also send them an SMS. So this is basically, guys, this is how we got such good results, okay? The more conversations, 273 leads in 60 days, okay? And so if you are running cold email, this is the secret right here, okay? You use Clay, you drive through Smart Lead, you get your data, you scrape at a very cost-effective rate with serpr.dev. Use lead magic to verify, and then you use high level, to send the SMSs. If you have a different CRM, use that CRM. If you have like HubSpot or something, then maybe you're just gonna API call to Twilio and get a Twilio number, and then just run straight through Twilio, whatever your setup is. But this right here, guys, we're getting into iClouds. We're getting into, obviously Gmails are easy. Getting into Yahoos, as you can see right here, Yahoo, iCloud, Gmail. It's not difficult. It is 100% possible. And as you can see right here, it works, okay? Using the reviews as your personalization or whatever it is. But the whole premise is to hack their positive biases. So that's the most important thing. In cold email, you have to understand negative and positive biases, okay? Avoid the negatives, hack into the positives, okay? You got to remember, like, what does this person do day to day? Who normally reaches out to these people? What are they used to responding to or not responding to? What is everyone else doing who's reaching out to them? So let's try not to do what they're doing, okay? And then obviously, as you can see, we used a case study. We used something that was very, how to 5X in 8 months. Like that's pretty big. That's huge growth, okay? I'm pretty sure every company would love 5X in 8 months, And so you got to have social proof. You got to have something that feels stupid to not at least pique their curiosity to get them to respond. Okay. And so that right there, guys, look, 44 to 55% positive reply rate. There's only like, 8,000 something leads in this, or in total like 90 something 100. And that's how, when you divide that by our positives, you get 1 out of every 35 companies throughout the entire nation that we reached out to raise their hand in this in our sales pipeline. Okay. And so that, my friends, is the secret sauce. That is the tech stack. If you want to get those files, they're going to be located down below. click the subscribe, like and follow, support this. We're doing amazing things. We're going to share it with you. We're going to provide resources down below. If you don't have Clay, get it. Link's going to be down below. If you don't have Smart Lead, you can use Instantly. It doesn't matter what you use, Smart Lead or Instantly, whatever. Get those from down below as well too. I'll have the link to serpr.dev. I'll have a link to High Level. Whatever it is you're using, you can tailor this to fit. But as you saw, this is a principle-driven strategy. So you can treat each mechanism like a variable. So that lead magnet doesn't have to be a case study. That personalization with the reviews to hack the positive biases doesn't have to be reviews. So you just need to variably approach it. You saw that was just 2 sentences, guys. It was very simple. It was brief. It was to the point. It was direct. And so God bless. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know what kind of videos you would like to see and how I can support you. And links down below will be available to get more resources and to basically learn how to master cold email in 2025 as deliverability is getting harder than ever. God bless.